These are 5 ridiculously expensive woodworking tools that are worth every single penny. Let's go. There's an old joke that says, how do you become a woodworking millionaire? You start out a woodworking billionaire. In the previous video in this series, a lot of people, and I mean several people, said that a planer should have been on the list of ridiculously expensive tools that are worth it, and I agree. So number 1 on the list is a good quality planer. Now you can get some budget ones, and I found a really good Craftsman one that's a good budget option for an occasional person wanting to plane boards. But if you really expect to use these a lot and for a very long time, one of the fan favorites of all woodworkers, or a lot of us anyway, is the DW735X. The X just means it comes with 2 beds, whereas the regular version doesn't have the bed. What makes this thing so popular is it is very robust. I've even stood on top of this one. I mean, you're not supposed to. It literally says no step. But I didn't step on it, I stood on it. But these things are built like tanks, and they plane very well. You can get virtually no snipe with these, where on a budget model, you're probably going to get what they call snipe, which is a little bit of the dip in the board as it first goes into the planer and comes out of the planer, and that's caused by the board being rocked up and down. And the blades just kind of cut into the ends of the boards there. In the Craftsman planer, I did get some minor snipe, but I was able to get that mostly gone, but not all the way. Whereas something like this, you'll get no snipe if it's adjusted properly. Now, beginner woodworkers don't necessarily need a planer, because a lot of times you're not dimensioning down your lumber for basic beginner woodworking projects. You'll start needing a planer in the wood shop once you start getting into hardwoods and things like that. You can save a lot of money by planing down your own hardwoods that you can buy at different hardwood mills and hardwood stores, things like that. And of course, you can use a planer to get out bows and twists out of boards as well, with just a simple planer sled like you see here. All you're going to do is shim up underneath where it's rocking at, the high sides, run it through. It's going to flatten that top side out. Then you'll flip it over and run it through without the planer sled, and you've got 2 parallel sides. That's one of the main things I use the planer for, other than dimensioning down the thickness of the lumber. Another good option for the planer is the Oliver that I reviewed a while back. I still have it, still use it. It's right here beside me. I just keep it bolted to this planer cart because it's one I use most often. It doesn't matter if you're getting the Bird Helix helical head planers, which are basically the top of the line style benchtop consumer level planers, or the 3-blade, 3-knife style planers like this one. They're all very expensive, and why they're on this list. But if you step up to the more commercial line, they get even more expensive. You get more cut capacity, stronger motors, things like that. But for the benchtop, these are probably the best 2 that I could recommend, the DeWalt or the Oliver. Or you could upgrade the Helix head and have the best of both worlds. The second crazy expensive tool that's worth every penny is a bandsaw. A bandsaw will literally change the game for you if you've never had one before. One of the main things you can do with the bandsaw when we're talking about dimensioning lumber is you can take and make smaller thin strips or resawing different thicknesses of your wood with a bandsaw, especially a good quality bandsaw or a full-size one. Now there's benchtop models that you can get that are really good for cutting curves and things like that, but when you start trying to resaw boards, you're gonna want to get one that's really powerful and has enough distance between the bed and the top wheel up here so that you can cut thicker, wider boards. These are also much, much safer to use versus, say, a miter saw or something like that to cut small pieces, like little tiny pieces. These are really good for that. And there's virtually no way you can get a kickback on a saw like this versus a table saw. So they're much, much more safer as far as that goes. Now this blade is always spinning, and you do have to still watch those fingers because it can cut you just like any other saw. When you get a bandsaw in the shop, you'll be able to do all kinds of cool stuff. I was able to make this little reindeer from his 731 just with this bandsaw right here. So it'll cut some really nice tight curves, as well as do some resawing and things like that. Sometimes I don't need the full 1-inch or 4/4 board. I just need a 1/4-inch piece or a 3/8-inch thick piece, and I can just take the piece over to the bandsaw and be able to cut that and get what I need out of it. A bandsaw just helps you to conserve lumber and thereby conserving that money. So basically it can pay for itself, right? Yeah, that's what I'd say. Next up is a good quality sander. Now, with that said, you can get some really good results with a sander such as this DeWalt. It's about $79, lets its own deal somewhere. It's a really nice sander. It's my top pick for sanders under $100. But if you've never used a higher end sander, when you get one, you will immediately see and feel the difference in the sanding finish as well as the stinging in your hand and all that good stuff. I highly recommend the Festool. I know, Festool, it's Festool fanboy. Festool ETS 125. This is one of the best sanders I've ever used. There are others out there on the market. This one's about $250. And I know a lot of people get shocked by that because $250 is a lot of money for a sander. But my argument is this is probably the most used tool in your shop. If you're a woodworker, you're gonna sand more than you're probably gonna cut wood. I mean, it's just the way it is. We have to sand things. And if you're going to have to sand that much, then you might as well spend the money on a good quality sander that's A, gonna last you for years, and 2, it doesn't hurt your hand when you sand, and D, it has really good finish quality on it, so you're not going to get those little swirlies all in your finish constantly. Another sander I recommend is this 3M extract sander. This is a 5-inch sander. It's more of a low profile. Has a paddle switch on it. Really nice sander. This one has the more aggressive orbit, so you're gonna be able to take off more material faster. As far as a finish sander, I always grab the Festool. It is, again, by far the greatest sander I've ever used. And some of you Mirka fanboys out there, I've never used a Mirka, but you may love yours, and that's fine. That's why I love competition, and there's a lot of options out there for you. But truly think about how much you use your sander and how much of an investment that is into your business or your side hustle or your hand's health. And when you pair these with a dust extractor, such as the Festool dust extractor, you get very minimal dust. You can use a dust extractor with almost any sander. I could pair it with this DeWalt, I could pair it with the 3M, and I could pair it with the Festool. That's what I love about having a dust extractor, just keeping the dust out of my lungs and out of the air. Now for the fourth one on the list, don't run off, let me plead my case, and then you can let me know if I was wrong in the comments. Number 4 tool that is absolutely crazy expensive is a CNC machine. Now, these are one of those tools that will literally change how you think about your projects and your business. These are investments into your business if you have a woodworking business. I can't tell you how much this thing runs. It runs almost every day. It runs daily because I'm making things like these router bit tray holders or catch-all trays, or I can customize projects like putting the Arkansas State Police star on a set of cornhole boards. This is probably the funnest tool I've ever owned, is because you can do so much with them. Literally, your imagination is what limits you. Now, there is a learning curve to these when you first get them. I got frustrated with a CNC when I first got them. I documented that in the dark side of CNC. You can search that video out. But after I literally took the time to learn the software and figure out what the capabilities was, it opened my mind. And I was like, I've been missing out, because this thing can do basically anything you ask it to, so long as it fits on the size of the machine. Now this is a Shapeoko 5 Pro, and you can fit a 2-foot by 4-foot piece of board on there or plywood, or you can index 4 8-foot long sheets of plywood, however you want to do that. I have a full review of this on the channel. You can search that as well. What I think a lot of people miss when they see the price of a CNC, especially if you're in the business or in the business of woodworking, is how much you can generate revenue with one of these. One, you'll be able to add customization to your products for your customers, or you can batch things out, which is mainly what I like to use it for. This is your first employee, I like to say, because this is what I use this thing for. It can work while I'm doing something else, and this is one of the main reasons I love having the CNC. It's my first employee. Full disclosure, I partnered with Carbide a long time ago. They were the only CNC company that would even listen to me or hear me out when I had the idea to make some content with CNCs, and they literally were the only ones. So I've stuck with them, and I've been more than pleased with their service. But please feel free, and you should do your due diligence and search out other companies to see which CNC best fits for you in your shop, because everybody's needs in shop is different. So make sure to do your research there. If you do decide to go with Carbide 3D, one of the things I love about them is there's free training at my.carbide3d.com that you can go to and basically learn how to use the CNC before you get it, the computer side of it. And I love that. It's free. Just go check it out. You got nothing to lose, really. You should never pay full price for any tool, really, especially when you can get great deals on stuff like this planer and many other tools. I have a text alert that I'll send out really good tool deals, like on that when it goes on sale. All you have to do is text the word deals to the number on the screen, and I'll let you know when awesome tool deals come available, including this one. The number 5 tool on the list is a Festool. Don't leave. Hear me out again. My editor, Chris, made that bat. It's fantastic. I'll link to his Etsy store in the description if you want to get your own custom bat. This is the most controversial tool on YouTube. This is the Festool Domino. Now, it's $1,500 no matter which way you slice it. And as far as tool deals go, you're probably never gonna find a sale or a deal on a Festool tool. They just do not put them on sale. So you're gonna pay full price. That's probably one of the only tools you pay full price for. Maybe, you let me know. So why is a Festool Domino worth that much money? Time savings. That's it. This thing is one of the best tools to use if you're making a lot of product, especially joinery products. So chairs, tables, tabletops, table bases, anything, cabinets, you name it. Like, this is one of the most useful tools you can buy. Number one, it's easy to use. I could literally give this to a beginner and they could pretty much figure this out pretty quick. Like, it's not hard to use. Number two is it's extremely accurate. You can get repeatable results with this every single time. When I built this coffee table, I was able to do all the joinery with this. It was the first project I used this Domino on, and I was like, oh my goodness, this thing is awesome. And then I did the tabletop the same way with breadboard ends with a Domino. This thing come out phenomenal. It is awesome. I love this table. It's a cool little project. And this Domino really shined in that video. I'll link to that video in the description if you want to go watch the farmhouse table build. This was the main tool used in that video. So you'll be able to see how it works and how well it does. So for $1,500, could you get a different tool that was much cheaper and do very similar results? Probably so, but it's going to take you much longer. So if you're doing doweling or you're doing mortise and tenon, all that's going to take much, much longer than this does. The Festool Domino is just in a league on its own. There are a lot of competitors to the Festool Domino, but there are also none that really stack up and do the exact same thing that this does, as good as it does, as fast as it does. That's a lot of it does. This thing's awesome. I had to have missed some expensive tools that are actually worth it. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see the first 5 tools that are worth every penny. Go check out that video right there. Click in the box, get you the big old virtual fist bump. Or you can check out the Oliver versus DeWalt planer review right there.